President Biden's trip to Ohio comes as a new Monmouth University poll shows that his approval rating down, dismal, 36%. For a reaction to all of this, let's welcome Congressman French Hill from House Financial Services, along with former economic advisor to President Trump, Steve Moore. Gentlemen, great to see you both, and good evening to you. Watching the president speak today, Congressman, in Ohio, talking about the economy, essentially saying, everything seems fine with the exception of the war that we're seeing overseas. We should just keep chugging along. That actually is not the case at all. As a matter of fact, all the underpinnings suggest that we're in a recession right now. People feel it when they're at the grocery store, at the gas pump. They felt it well before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, and they're feeling it when they look at their 401ks as well. So many people tell me, I'm close to retirement, I can't do it, or I'm in retirement, I have to come out. These are tough times right now. He seems like he's in denial, Congressman.
Well, Jackie, it's good to be with you and great to be with my good friend of freedom, Stephen Moore. Exactly. You could ask the president at the podium, hey, is your head stuck in the sand? And he wouldn't know the answer to it because they have their head stuck in the sand on this economic issue. And it's worse than sliding into a recession, as noted by the Atlanta Fed. We are clearly going into stagflation, and this country has not seen this kind of horrible impact on our families, those on fixed income, our working families, since the 1970s, and Joe Biden doesn't have a plan.
No solutions in sight, and that's really worrisome. At least when you have a problem, if you own up to it, Congressman, you tell the American people, we made a mistake, mea culpa, we're going to fix it, here's what we're going to do, put out bullet points, whatever it is, to reassure people. Steve Moore, instead, on the podium today, he's pinning the blame for high gas prices on Republicans today during his remarks. Watch this.
Well, Republicans do nothing to obstruct our efforts to lower your gas taxes. I propose that. I've asked the Congress to eliminate the federal gas tax for the next, as long as this crisis goes on. Lower food prices, lower health care costs. Hopefully soon, lower your prescription drug costs.
I mean, this was interesting today, Steve. He's running out of people to blame it on. And every time he does it, just the whole thing gets worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, Jackie, I would just add to what the congressman was just saying, that I would even go further than he did and say it's kind of insulting when the president talks about the glories of this economy when people are really hurting. And I don't understand how the president's press secretary can say, Jackie, that people's balance sheets look so good right now. I mean, I'll just talk from personal experience. My wife and I looked at our balance sheet with the huge losses in the stocks that we own and our 401k plans, and we lost a couple $100,000. So our balance sheet is looking worse than ever, not better than ever. And I agree with what you just said, Jackie. I think what's really unsettling to these financial markets right now is the president is a man without a plan. In fact, all of the things he's talking about right now in terms of solving the problems are just variations of this crazy Build Back Better plan. Remember, that was the $4 trillion spending bill that he wanted to pass back in the winter and spring. And so it's troubling that they don't come up with some more centrist solutions that maybe Republicans could buy into that would get this economy moving again, like maybe a real tax cut, maybe ending, let's just suspend this war on American energy right now, and policies like that would have, I think, a positive impact.
Quite the contrary, Steve. I think they see the midterms around the corner and they're like, let's try to spend as much as we can before the tide turns, because this is our last shot at it. And to your point about retirement accounts, $3 trillion out of IRAs and 401ks alone, $3 trillion. I'm not talking about pensions and everything else that, the average American is invested in, just out of that segment of people's retirement accounts. It's criminal. Congressman, I want to come back to you because Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg playing the blame game as well, talking about pain at the pump. And he's saying that it's all about the oil companies. So this administration can't even get their story straight. But watch this.
When it comes to these sky-high gas prices, drivers are mad about it. I'm mad about it. The president's mad about it. Oil company executives are thrilled.
Okay, oil executive companies, congressmen, are not thrilled about it. Their break even is somewhere in the 30s. They would much rather have a barrel of oil in the 50s, let's say, where they're making a profit, where they can invest in the future, where people aren't pointing the finger at them and saying that they're greedy and look at all the profits. Actually, they're not happy about it. But this administration created a situation where they can't effectively and efficiently do their jobs. That's why the American people are paying more at the pump.
Well, look, oil executives have been told by Joe Biden he's going to eliminate fossil fuels prematurely before we're ready to make that transition to renewables. We have no way to generate the renewables to power all these electric cars, our homes, our industries. We need baseline power. And one of the cheapest, best, cleanest ways to do that is through natural gas. So by unleashing an American industry, as Steve Moore recommends, we will produce more energy, get back up to 13 million barrels a day, export LNG, clean LNG to help our partners and allies in Europe, and that'll benefit prices here at home. But he has a war on energy. He's proposed $145 billion in new taxes on the energy industry, and he says he wants to put them out of business. That's a little hard to have certainty when you're also facing no approvals for new pipelines, no real approvals for leasing on federal lands, and no encouragement from this administration.
You're absolutely right. Steve Moore, I want to give the final word to you, because in that Monmouth University poll today, 88% of people said the country was headed in the wrong direction. 57% of people, they said they felt hurt by the policies of the federal government, that those policies hurt their families.
Jackie, did you say 88%?
Yes.
I mean, I've been in this game a long time, since the early 80s. I've never seen numbers that bad. And those are, by the way, those are worse than the numbers that Jimmy Carter faced. So Americans are feeling the pain. There's no spinning this right now. Biden needs a radical change in direction. He keeps doubling down on the failed policies. And as long as he does that, we're not going to see an improvement. And I agree with what you started the segment saying, Jackie, and I've been saying this for about the last 8 weeks on Fox Business News. We are in a recession right now, and we've got to get this economy moving, because I've lived through 7 recessions, Jackie. They're really painful.
God bless you. I'm not enjoying it. And I don't think a lot of other Americans are either. They want to see an end to it, a reversion, of course, on policy. And unfortunately, the signs are just not there. Congressman French Hill, Steve Moore, great to see you both tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, Jackie.